Welcome to episode 29 of Forest Focus. I'm your host, Paul Wade, with the Regional Public Affairs and Communications Office. In this episode, we meet up with a backcountry trail crew on the Inyo National Forest. California Conservation Corps members and the United States Forest Service staff tell us what it takes to live and work on the trail. As we shall soon learn, the combination of partnership, funding from the Great American Outdoors Act, and true grit brings transformation for the trail and the crew.
Where can we go to be transformed? A change of scenery and a change of pace can help, and we can find both on backcountry trails within national forests. On a cloudy summer day, a backcountry trail crew was hard at work on one such trail, the JMT, which is shorthand for the John Muir Trail. Through 200 miles of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, the JMT meanders mostly within wilderness areas and often follows the same route as the longer Pacific Crest Trail. At work on this section of the trail on the Inyo National Forest were a few U.S. Forest Service employees, but mostly a crew from the California Conservation Corps. Backcountry Trail Program Director Carlson Hubbard was also with the crew, and he told us a bit about the program, which is also referred to as the CCC, or simply the Cs.
Yeah, so the California Conservation Corps is the oldest and longest running state conservation corps in the country. And what we mean by State Conservation Corps is the CCC is a permanent department of the California Natural Resource Agency. We were written into law in 1979. And so within the Cs, there are various special programs. And so the Backcountry Trails program is one of those special programs. Our value to the public land management agencies comes in the fact that as long as our partners can support our crews remaining in the wilderness, we stay out here for a 5.5-month season. The skill development, when you are working with the same group of people day in and day out, the learning curve is just huge. They become very proficient, within a couple of months of the season, and thus they're able to kick out a lot of work. And we're working in remote areas where it's difficult for the public land management agencies to get a workforce out there.
The relationship between the CCC program and the U.S. Forest Service is rooted throughout the state and has grown over decades.
We have worked with the Inyo for over 35 years. We have other national forests throughout California, the Klamath National Forest, the Shasta Trinity National Forest, the Stanislaus National Forest. We've all had a crew presence for 30 plus years in those forests as well. It's a service to employment pipeline. You talk to a lot of folks in the forest throughout California, and people on the trail crews or on resource crews. We have a lot of alumni that have gone on to be employed by the U.S. Forest Service.
Natalia Muglia and Joseph Maurer, Inyo National Forest employees, are Forest Service sponsors of the crew, but also worked alongside them. They each spoke about their own pathway from the CCC or similar programs into future careers with the agency.
I started kind of like them with the Conservation Corps, and then I decided I wanted to go federal after a couple years, and last year I worked up in Washington, and then this year I got a call from Michael Morse, and he told me that there was a C's crew that I could work with.
Oh, I joined as a Corps member in the summer of 2017, and I spent 2.5 years as a Corps member. One of those summers was spent here in the Inyo on a backcountry trail crew. Once I finished my time in the C's, I decided to continue doing trails. Did a season with state parks, and then decided I wanted to come back to the Inyo. So I got hired with the Forest Service, and this is my second year as a sponsor for the CCC crew. As far as my job goes, and the Inyo specifically, we have like 4 trail crew members. So when we get a crew of like 12 to 16 ready and able workers to do jobs, we can do stuff like this, like these massive projects and huge staircases and really, really big, like impactful projects when we have a good sized crew. We're just working on like a 2-mile section of the JMT that gets a lot of use, and it's particularly eroded because most of the ground here is made of pumice, which is not very stable. So we're putting in a lot of check steps.
Unsure what a check step is? Join the club. Turns out it is a rock or timber step placed in or across the trail to slow water flow and prevent erosion. The sign of success of their construction? Their very invisibility when the work is done. Seeing the work in action makes you think about how many trail features you have walked upon without even knowing. As CCC crew member Jonathan Sullivan relates, the greater awareness of what goes into a trail is one of the benefits of doing backcountry trail work.
I really like learning how all of this comes together. You see a lot of it as you're hiking, but you don't realize how much more goes into it, how much thought goes into both the large scale planning of the trails and also into each structure itself. It's really interesting to see.
There are several steps involved in creating a check step: excavating a trench, swinging a hammer to crush stones into gravel, and scooping dirt to complete the fill. Craig Clark and Anna King were hard at work with another key component.
The crosscut is from the Wilderness Act of 1964 when power tools were banned in the wilderness. We've just been using it since it's the best accessible thing that's not a power tool. That way we can cut through logs in an efficient, environmentally impactful way. And it's pretty nice. And a good way to get the logs out for a log out or whatever else it may be for a check step.
Their work looked exhausting, but both Clark and King were with smiles and even gave a fist pump in the air when the log was successfully split in two.
Rolling.
Most of the crew shared that exertion was part of the joy of the work.
I like the challenge.
It's tiringly entertaining.
Yeah, usually fun. Sometimes it gets really hot though.
For me, I think that the biggest part of making a check step, check dam is just swinging a single jack to make crush. It's fun.
Using a crosscut saw is really cool, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me feel like a lumberjack. I mean, there isn't a part that I don't like. We roll big rocks and that makes me feel really powerful because there's certain techniques to it. Even days that I'm just hauling bags of dirt around aren't so bad because it makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger.
As Adria Berneo alluded and continued to impart, trail work and the CCC program provide opportunities to take part in meaningful work, to challenge oneself, and to step outside the normal routine.
I had a very sedentary indoor life. I wanted to challenge myself and experience outdoor work. I'm pretty happy here. I've gotten to experience a lot of cool things.
Other crew members said much the same.
It is Zoe Blankenship. Before this, I was working at a daycare with 2 and 3 year olds. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, so I'm just like, why not? Let's go for it. I'm working really hard for just people to use the trails. It's really gratifying work.
My name is Luis de los Reyes. I mean, look around. It's such an office. Not tied down to a desk and in front of a computer screen all day.
My name is Erica Bradley. I work at a different corps called Civic Corps. Our program director, he's like, there's this job opportunity if you want to live in the wilderness for 5 months and do trail work without phones and stuff. And it just seemed like something I'd like to do.
Hi, my name is Ava Dawson. Honestly, I gotta say, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's really nice to be out here, kind of away from everything. We don't have our phones. We have very limited technology. I have a calculator watch and that's kind of it. And I don't know, it's just kind of freeing.
While freeing, crew members are away from their friends and family and away from the technology that enabled them to communicate immediately for over 5 months. This is why the cultivation of community is essential.
When you put a group of people from all different backgrounds together, a key to having the type of success we need on the trail is having a healthy community out here. So when they can learn how to get along with each other, accept one another, resolve conflict in an effective way, and build bonds with one another, the relationships they build are incredible and could be lifelong. And I mean, you talk to a lot of the folks that have finished the program, a lot of our alumni, you ask them to describe their crew, and one of the common words is they'll say, we were a family out there.
But how is that family feel created?
Here in the Inyo, the Inyo pack operation, stock animal operation, they resupply our crew on a weekly basis to bring in the food that they need to stay, healthy and strong. And so all of that, it has cost, right? And the GAOA has brought an influx of funding to the various land management units to help pay for our services, but to also help support their internally the resources needed to support our crew.
Funding from GAOA, or the Great American Outdoors Act, has helped the crew come to do this important work, in part by enabling the Forest Service mule teams to equip them for the task. Michael Morse, the Wilderness and Trails Supervisor on the Mammoth Ranger District of the Inyo National Forest and co-director of the Region 5 Pack Stock Center of Excellence, shared more on how this is done.
It's the same thing we've been doing pretty much since 1983. We've had a partnership with the California Conservation Corps, and I can't even imagine how many miles of trail they've resurfaced, rebuilt, created, repaired over those many, many years. Every week we take an average of anywhere from 8 to 10 mule loads of food, groceries, supplies, propane into their camp that we established back in early June, which took about 35 mules to get their whole camp in. And during the course of the summer, we will go back every single week. We'll also, and more importantly, make sure they get their mail. It's all handwritten letters, and they have no communication any other way. And also we make sure they have all the tools they need to do the project. Once they go in June, they don't come out until the end of September.
Walking into the crew's backcountry camp has the feeling of stumbling into a mirage. The juxtaposition of the rugged scenery with the sights, sounds, and smells of home-like comforts is both surprising and inviting.
I'm Alan Young. I'm the cook here for the California Conservation Crew's backcountry program here at Camp Minaret in the Inyo National Forest. Oh, I'm brand new at this, but I'm not new at the backcountry. I walked the Pacific Crest Trail from Mexico to Canada in 1979 when few people knew what the Pacific Crest National Scenic Trail was. Later I became president of the Pacific Crest Trail Association. So this is my first season as a cook, and I'm really having a great time. Forest Service has provided us with really all the gear and equipment that we need. We've got a couple ovens that we use because there's regulations on our ability to start a fire, and so everything's been cooked in these ovens. We got a couple cakes to show you. Here's a vegan chocolate cake that we cooked up this morning, and chocolate cake that's just cooling down before we frost it. So looks like it'll be a successful day here.
A deeper tour of the camp reveals additional aspects that help the crew become a community.
As you can see, we have built a lot of things to make it more homely. All of our tables over here in the dining area were cross-cutted. Like day by day, we just pumped out one or more. And same with the stools. And we have our dish line over here. There's a bit of a mess. With 4 buckets, one for kind of like getting all of like the crumbs and mess off the plates, one for washing with suds, one for bleaching with like sanitizing, and then a final rinse bucket. And then we have our community tent. So this is kind of where we lead all of our lessons at the end of every workday. Where we come to hang out. We have like a pet wall. We have a series of unfortunate events from this season. And we have like an art and meme wall, affirmation wall. There's a guitar, there's a soccer ball in here, all sorts of stuff.
Doing trail work in the backcountry of national forests allows the crew to form bonds with each other, but also provides an opportunity for internal reflection.
There's a lot of built-in time for Corps members to reflect, right? And so they do a lot of thinking out here about the choices they've made in their life, who they are, what are the areas they need to improve on. And so that is a very powerful part of the experience. Is they come out with a stronger character and a greater depth of understanding of who they are and where they want to go.
Many of the CCC backcountry trail crew came to this work on the Inyo National Forest at a crossroads in their lives, and each will leave not only with a new technical skill set, but with new personal insights as well.
My name is Josie Englam. I graduated college 2 years ago. I studied English at UC Berkeley. I did a year with AmeriCorps and then just moved back in with a friend, didn't really have a stable place to stay, and was doing DoorDash for like 5 or 6 months. And my car broke down in February. So when I was looking for work, I saw an ad for the Backcountry Trails program. Thought it looked really cool because I never had trail experience working outdoors or any backpacking experience. And this program delivers all those things. So I've definitely learned a lot. What I like about this work is you get to see the progress of what you're doing right in front of you.
My first name is Yu, this letter U, and the last name Mua, M-O-U-A. So I am Hmong, H-M-O-N-G, and we are a hill tribe in Laos. And there's just something about the mountains, they're just calling me. I'd rather hike to work than like drive to work, or just something physical, like just to stay active. That's what I enjoyed.
I think the Seas is a great program for young people who like the outdoors but aren't sure how to get into it. It's let me get exposed to a lot more types of jobs in natural resource, trail work, firefighting, all sorts of stuff. The satisfaction of a job well done once you can, complete a project and then look back on it and it really looks good. And that's a very, very gratifying and humbling experience to have.
Transforming trails through repair work simultaneously transforms the crew, a point which the CCC crew supervisor, Sam Boutel, drives home.
For me, it's building the people that build the trails, just getting to see the skill acquisition over the course of a season, getting to make the connections between different project types, different techniques, getting the contacts between materials coming together, and just watching as the Corps members really come together and build the structures that we need.
For those of us looking for a little transformation, we may just find it on a backcountry trail on a national forest too.
Thank you to our storytelling team for capturing this hard-at-work trail family, who I think has something we all wish for: a little freedom to roam amongst the trees, an office with a view, and forest fresh air to fill our lungs. We look forward to bringing you more shows from the forest. To take a deeper dive into the California Conservation Corps' Backcountry Trails program, our Pack Stock Center of Excellence, hiking the Inyo National Forest, and the beneficial, infrastructure-driven Great American Outdoors Act, check out the links in the show's description page. Here is a trail salute to all our guests for making this show possible. Thanks for listening. To learn more about the show, share it, or hear our other episodes, please search Forest Focus Podcast. And if you have questions or suggestions for a show, email us at sm.fs.r5ffpodcast@usda.gov. Until next time, enjoy your public lands. Please remember to recreate responsibly, know before you go, and learn what you can do to prevent wildfires. Take care. This podcast is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, and the USDA is an equal opportunity provider, employer, and lender.